Let me try to remove the blur from my background. Okay. I removed everything in the house. Eh? My living room has got nothing except 2 chairs. Eh?
So where the things have gone?
Now, this is on live stream now. We'll come back to the class. Okay, we'll do our prayers. ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम। साथ में करते
हाँ जी।
हाँ जी, हाँ जी।
श्रुति स्मृति
पुराणानाम
आलयम कर
नमामि भगवत्पादं
शंकरं लोकशंकरं
शंकराचार्य
शवं बादरायणं
सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः
सदाशिवसमारम्भां
शंकराचार्य मध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तं वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्
ईश्वरो
गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः।
ओम श्री दयानंदेश्वराय नमः। श्री हरिम परमानंदम।
ये भी साथ ही करना है या अलग?
नहीं, साथ में नहीं करना। श्री हरिम परमानंदम।
श्री हरिम परमानंदम
उपदेष्टारमीश्वरम्
उपदेष्टारमीश्वरम्
व्यापकं सर्वलोकानां
व्यापकं सर्वलोकानां
कारणं तं नमाम्यहम्
कारणं तं नमाम्यहम्।
अपरोक्षानुभूतिर्वै
अपरोक्षानुभूतिर्वै
प्रोच्यते मोक्षसिद्धये
प्रोच्यते मोक्षसिद्धये
तद्भिरेषा प्रयत्नेन
सद्भिरेषा प्रयत्नेन
वीक्षणीया मुहुर्मुहुः
वीक्षणीया मुहुर्मुहुः
स्ववर्णाश्रमधर्मेण
स्ववर्णाश्रमधर्मेण
तपसा हरितोषणात् साधनं प्रभवेत् पुंसाम् वैराग्यादिचतुष्टयम् ब्रह्मादिस्थावरान्तेषु वैराग्यं विषयेष्वनु यथैव काकविष्टायां वैराग्यं तद्धि निर्मलम् नित्यमात्मस्वरूपं हि दृश्यं तद्विपरीतगम् एवं यो निश्चयः सम्यक् विवेको वस्तु न स वै सदैव वासनात्यागः शमोऽयमिति शब्दितः निग्रहो बाह्यवृत्तीनां दम इत्यभिधीयते Okay, so we are on that verse. Okay. So today I'm not going over what we did, because anyway we are having the YouTube this thing. And Swamiji was okay. Just quickly we can go over. What was relevant, he said, was the emotional mind is what interacts with the world. And then Swamiji gave the process of that. ना? कि हमारे मनस एक क्लर्क जैसे है जो डिसाइड करती है कि ये अच्छा है, ये बुरा है, and sends that information to the intellect, and based on that information the intellect will act it. So basically the intellect should exercise its discernment. Okay? Then Swamiji pointed out that actions usually take place mechanically, impulsively, meaning mechanically actions वो जाते हैं, हमारे मन के अंदर प्रोग्राम है और प्रोग्राम के अनुसार हम लोग उस पे एक्ट करते हैं. और इस तरह के जो पास्ट एक्सपीरियंसेस हमारी होती है, दे क्रिएट संस्कारास इन अस, एंड these samskaras, they become our habit, and then mechanically we act upon our habit. Okay. So Swamiji pointed out the unmanifest seed of habit is called as vasana, an impression, a deep impression in the mind. And then we react because of these impressions without thinking of the consequences, meaning we act very mechanically. Okay? Then Swamiji pointed out sada eva vasana tyagaha. How can we give up a vasana when it is, lying there as unmanifest seed of the habit? He says, when you find a ragadvesha, a binding ragadvesha appearing in your mind, be sure that it is coming from some vasana. So vasana is there. Okay? So I say that as long as we have these binding ragadveshas, we have to work upon them. Okay. So Swamiji gave a good method of dealing with vasana. He said, cultivate the opposite. So if you have, he was almost equating vasana and its product, which is ragadvesha, as one and the same. So he pointed out, you bring the opposite. So if you have anger, then you bring in the opposite, which is compassion. Okay. So here I had only one thing to say, that first you process your anger and find out. It's good, to know how our mind works. So find out what is the need which was not fulfilled, because of which I got angry. Then it's a good way, of processing anger. You will immediately know, when I get angry, that means मेरा कुछ या expectation था या मेरा कुछ need था जो fulfill नहीं हुआ, और उसके कारण मेरे मन में this anger has come. तो वो पहले समझो कि क्या है मेरे अंदर नीड, क्या था जिसके कारण मुझे इस तरह से गुस्सा आ रहा है. और समझो, आप वो समझ पाए तो देन यू फिगर आउट कि ये नीड मेरा, कैन इट बी फुलफिल्ड, कैन इट नॉट बी फुलफिल्ड. इफ इट कैन बी फुलफिल्ड बाय माय asking for its fulfillment, then go ahead and ask for it if the other person is available for that. Okay? If it can't be fulfilled, then bring in all your Bhagavad Gita and say, fulfill नहीं हो सकती है, क्योंकि that's how it is. In Ishvara's order, it can't be fulfilled. So Namaha, acceptance. ठीक है? ये, और उसके बाद ये अच्छी तरह से समझो कि मेरे the other person is, उधर फिर कंपैशन ले आओ, टॉलरेंस ले आओ, एकोमोडेशन ले आओ, वो सब कुछ ले आओ, पर पहले अपने आप को समझो और अपने जो ये आवेग है एंगर की, उसको संभालो. और उसके बाद ये whatever this is, the opposite, Pratipaksha Bhavana, we can use Pratipaksha Bhavana. It will work very well once we are able to come to a samadhan of our emotion. Yeah. Then he pointed out why we have values. So many of our values will when we follow those values, slowly over a period of time, ये जो हमारे अंदर जो negative tendencies है, they will wear them out. Yeah. So he pointed out, which was there, 13th chapter में, अमानित्वम, अदम्भित्वम, अहिंसा, क्षांतिरार्जवम. These kind of values. Value, when we have to use values, we have to be very conscious, no? क्योंकि हमारी action is going to be mechanical. He will explain it beautifully ahead. We can look at it ahead, very beautifully done. Eh? So I will go ahead and read this first thing. Working on vasanas in their manifest state. Page 77, last paragraph. Page 77, last paragraph. Yeah?
जी.
I'll let Anita come. Meanwhile, I can drink my water. With straw, I find I drink more water. तो मैंने एक स्टील स्ट्रॉ रखा है जिससे मैं पानी पीती हूँ. Okay, ready all? Okay.
Yes.
We don't know what vasanas are stored in the mind. We only know that there is a vasana when it manifests as an impulse in the form of raga or dvesha. When my mind displays a binding raga dveshas, I know that those vasanas are there and I work with the raga dvesha which are manifest state of the vasana. In Viveka Chudamani, it is said, Virajya Vishayad Vratad Dosha Drishtya Muhur Muhumu. So you can look at footnote number 52 at the bottom of the page. Dispassion towards the whole host of objects by seeing their limitations again and again. Dosha darshanam, again and again. If I love gulab jamun, then I must do dosha darshanam of gulab jamun again and again. गुलाब जामुन में शुगर है, गुलाब जामुन शुगर खाऊंगी तो वो मैं कैंसर पेशेंट रही हूँ, अभी नहीं हूँ, तो वो मेरे लिए ठीक नहीं है. डायबिटीज है तो मेरे लिए ठीक नहीं है. शुगर तो एक पॉइजन ही है, इसलिए गुलाब जामुन भी पॉइजन के जैसे ही है. अभी खाना है तो एक खाओ या हाफ खाओ. मुहुर मुहु. Your mind wants something because it has an attachment to it and looks upon it as a source of happiness. गुलाब जामुन खाऊंगी तो मैं खुश बन जाऊंगी. The question is, how does one release the mind from the hold of that object which is controlling the mind on account of attachment? In Gita, Arjuna says, Chanchalam hi mana Krishna Pramati balavad dridam. Hey Krishna, I can't control my mind because it is controlled by my raga dvesha. The liking or value for an object grows because I see some benefit or advantage there. Right? We are all identified with our body and mind. And so anything which is helpful to this body and mind naturally is an advantage. So I will see only the advantage. I won't see the dosha in it. And so my attachment goes more and more strong. Next one is for Uncle.
The need for repeated examination. This is why Vivek Chudamani says, Dosha Drishtya Muhur Muhur. Drishtya means you deliberately see Muhur Muhu again and again the dosha, fault or harm that is involved there. Wherever we see advantage, disadvantages are bound to be there also. Very often the disadvantages are going to be greater than the advantages. Ultimately, objects are mithya and have no advantage of any kind from a Vedantic standpoint. Let your mind see the price it has to pay, the pain it is going to bring, the sorrow it will bring, all the disadvantages that are involved in procuring and enjoying the object.
Yes, uncle. तो मैंने लिखा है यू प्रे टू देवी, ये देवी की माया है जिसमें हमें एडवांटेज दिख रही है और हमारी अटैचमेंट बढ़ती रहती है, इसलिए भगवान को ही बोलो, हे भगवान हमें इससे छुटकारा दो प्लीज. सो वी हैव टू डू दैट. ओके ओके अंकल, कंटिन्यू.
Muhurmuhu means repeatedly. The mind may not change if you show it the defect only once. It is likely to want it again. It is like a small child asking, Mom, can I have the candy? No. No, child, it is not good for you. Then he asks again, Mom, may I have candy? I told you it won't be good for your health right now. Mom, may I? And so on. The little fellow does not give up. He wants it anyway.
The mind is like that. Uncle, continue.
The mind is like that. Simply telling the mind does not mean that you have convinced the mind. Every time it comes up with a requirement, we must make it see the price of the disadvantage involved there, because the mind has a habit of seeing only one side. The mind sees only the advantages and becomes attached, or sees only the disadvantages and has aversion. It does not see the things in totality. We make the mind see in totality that when the rose is there, thorns are also there. When the advantage is there, a disadvantage is also bound to be there. This is not make believe. I'm not saying that one should show the mind doshas that are not there. Doshas are always there. So we are talking about being realistic. This dosh drishti, being seeing the disadvantages, is the pratipaksh bhavana.
Yeah, so seeing here we have brought again the opposite, no? Because we are seeing only the advantages. So now we want to also see the disadvantages. I think I will have to practice this with gulab jamun, right? बार बार करूंगी. जैसे अनीता आती है मेरे पास गुलाब जामुन लेके पूरा एक डायलॉग दे दूंगी. ओके अनीता, इट्स योर टर्न नाउ. दिस इज सिंपल. हाँ,
Okay. Sadhana is understanding and transforming the mind. When we desire something, there is a guna buddhi, meaning the mind sees only its virtues. Therefore, we must let the mind see the opposite side also. We do this by constantly observing the mind. Vairagya is a value, but because the mind has always acted on ragadveshas, making vairagya practical requires a complete transformation of the mind. This is quite a difficult thing, and it is the real sadhana discipline. One may understand viveka and vairagya and mithya, but even though the intellect says mithya, the mind says it is real and I want it. I have always gotten happiness from there, and now you say no, it is not there. What do you mean it is not there? I know it is there. So you have to keep on showing the mind. So it is not, no, it is not there. It is a delusion on your part. Look at it. There is an unhappiness and sorrow there.
तो जैसे गुलाब जामुन देखूंगी तो मैं बोलूंगी दुःखमयम सर्वम दुःखमयम. दिस इज अ दुःखमय गुलाब जामुन निधि. हाँ, ओके.
The mind is not going to get convinced right away. So we do the pratipaksh bhavana as often as required until the mind is convinced and does not go there anymore. For any impulse that arises in our mind, there is an opposite. It is like the two sides of the coin. bringing in the opposite side is pratipaksh bhavna. If karma is there, it is due to aviveka, non-discrimination, superimposing a value which is not there. With viveka, we recognize that the thing does not have value.
Okay,
Krodha
stop
and
here. With Viveka, we recognize that the thing does not have value. So, what
that
are the kinds of things we will tell to ourselves to recognize that it does not have value? What could be some of the kind of things, logic we can use to
yeah,
understand?
like in gulab jamun, lot of sugar is there which is not good for us.
Okay,
Uh,
you can, and then some more, you can add some more. Basic Vairagya, no, is based on recognizing that what I want is something lasting. But what is lasting is not present here. That means I recognize that what I want is Nitya Sukha. You can call, supposing somebody wants love, then I want lasting love. Okay, not only lasting love, I want everlasting love.
Everlasting.
Huh? Then if I want pleasure, I want pleasure all the time. Iti. So the what the person wants is always lasting. But we can always recognize that no, this lasting business is not here. It is Anitya. Anitya Sukha is here. Nitya Sukha is not here. So is it Anitya Sukha that I really want? Mind will say, yeah, Anitya Sukha is okay. कोई problem नहीं, मैं तो I can settle for Anitya Sukha better than no Sukha. Iti. Then what will you say? Supposing mind says, Anitya Sukham theek hai, koi baat nahi, it is better than no Sukha at all. Then what logic will you use?
But we go to
We
that
all
myth.
know it, सबको पता है. Just that थोड़ा सा उसको सोचना पड़ेगा. हाँ, yes, Soni uncle.
No, I was telling you, which is the first that Sadhan said, Nitya Nitya Viveka.
Yes.
So if you have got that, probably you will settle, I should not take it. It is a Nitya, and I am looking
No,
for
you see
Nitya.
what happens, there's an emotional value, no? Cognitively, you may know it is mithya, it is anitya, etc., etc. So at the time when this happens, that's when you have to again bring in that drishti, that hey, this is anitya sukha. Do I really want anitya sukha? Now here is some champion, okay, who says कि नहीं नहीं ठीक है यार, अनित्य सुखम ठीक है, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, मुझे अच्छा लगता है मेरा अनित्य सुखम, little bits of anitya sukham will make gives me
But it should be supported by
hope in life.
it should be supported by the some mean that tranquility of mind. If there is a tranquility of mind will definitely give a proper decision which will go to the buddhi. So all these things are interrelated and connected, you see.
So what when you try to tell that mind when it is saying anitya sukham ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं, मैं अनित्य सुखम से मैनेज कर लूंगा.
So it is not having that some.
हाँ.
It is lacking
तो
some.
सम करने के लिए आप क्या बोलोगे?
No, some करने के लिए. हाँ बोलिए डॉक्टर साहब.
अनित्य सुख है तो ये जाएगा भी जाएगा, जिस समय जाएगा तो मुझे दुख दे जाएगा.
हाँ.
It will cause me sorrow, grief.
Exactly. ठीक
And
है?
hence I will not take it anitya sukh. I will go for nitya
I will
sukh.
go for nitya sukham.
Yes.
This is the crux of all of. Only then the real Vedanta starts, you know, because it is always pointing you towards Nitya. Hey, you must, make your vision towards Nitya, not towards Anitya. Because Anitya is Anitya Sukham only. Iti. You can also point out, how this Sukham is only, that will not work. But even if you point out, it will not work. This mind listens to Dukkha. Because mind doesn't want दुखा. It's very clear कि मुझे दुख नहीं चाहिए. तो आप उसको दुख दिखाएंगे तो it is likely to say ठीक है. Okay, I agree. ठीक है? उससे ज्यादा आप लॉजिक दो कि the sukha is a reflection of your own sukha. ये सब आपने बोला तो उसको it will not listen to any of that. But when you point out that after the anitya sukha, what you are going to experience is dukkha, maybe, then slowly you can break that attachment, आस्ते आस्ते वो वैराग्य और पक्का होगा, विवेक से, ठीक है. Okay, now let's go ahead.
We have to do this deliberately.
No,
because
before
the
that. No, because I'm going to stop you again. Krodha, anger.
Last sentence.
Oh, yeah, there I finished.
Last
Achha,
sentence.
anger.
Krodha.
Krodha, anger comes from intolerance, and therefore we bring in tolerance. We have to do
Yeah,
this
wait,
deliberately.
stop.
Okay.
I'm again on the topic of Krodha. Okay. So we bring in tolerance after understanding which need of mine has not been fulfilled. Okay. Supposing now I've written an example here. Let me see what I've written while I was reading. In anger, somebody shouts at you and says unfair things, and you also get angry. Now, you also got angry because somebody shouted at you. Firstly, they shouted at you. And then on top of that, they criticized you or said things which were unfair. Okay. Now, which need of yours has not been fulfilled because you got angry? So, something in you is there which is triggering the anger. It is your need, right? So, what is the need which, in this case, what is the need which has not been fulfilled, which is triggering the anger? Usually, for any human being,
Inability to tolerate intolerance.
no, that is too.
What
No, let's
what
come
other
back.
person is saying?
Before that also, the person is angry because their need for respect was not respected. Somebody shouts at you, you don't like to be shouted at by anybody. So you want to be respected. Instead, the other person is shouting at you and telling you things which are unfair. So coming to a very, very human level. So that fellow is feeling that मुझे respect नहीं दिया है. He has not given me respect. So you also get angry because your need for respect was not fulfilled. Okay? So this is a very beautiful way of understanding ourselves. कि जब हमें क्रोध आता है, आप अपने आप को समझो कि मेरा नीड क्या था, जिसका fulfillment नहीं हुआ है, So you found that you were okay. Now what will you do? Okay, need for respect, sometimes need for justice also. उन्होंने, he said all unfair things about you. So your need for justice is also affected. So you get very upset, Iti. Now having understood your own needs, okay, then you see if you can explain to the person कि देखो don't shout at me, मुझे अच्छा नहीं लगता है, don't shout. Make it very clear that don't shout at me. समझो वो फिर भी नहीं सुनता है, उसको शाउट करना ही है, तो आप बोलो that is his problem, not mine. उनको, he doesn't have good manners, he doesn't have proper thinking. It is his problem, not mine. Why I should get angry or I should get hurt? उनका problem. Now you bring in the value of tolerance and you say ठीक है, अभी इसका background होगा, इसके कारण वो ऐसे कर रहा है, and then you understand the person behind the action. And then you bring in your compassion, your accommodation, your tolerance, everything you bring. And you understand it has got nothing to do with me. Okay? And then you let it go. So I should not take it personally. मुझे ये personally नहीं लेना है इसे. Okay. And supposing it is ये person repeatedly ऐसे करता है, if you can protect yourself, you protect yourself. If you can't protect yourself, भगवान को नमः. ठीक है, and don't take it personally. Don't take it personally. ठीक है. अभी आगे बढ़.
आगे I was reading that silence is the best answer to anger.
Not necessarily. If you are silent inside, it is a good answer. If you are agitated inside and you are full of your own anger and it is all suppressed stuff, it is going to come out like a क्या बोलते हैं pressure cooker. बाद में.
Wow.
नहीं, बट गुरुमा आई वाज, जब डॉक्टर भाटिया हम लोग गीता में पढ़ा रहे थे तो स्वामी जी, पूज्य स्वामी जी हैज रिटन, और गुस्सा आए तो यू गो टू द बाथरूम
हाँ,
एंड टेक ए टॉवल एंड स्टार्ट बीटिंग इट.
That
तो
is,
आपका,
you must express your gussa,
हाँ,
express in an appropriate way, okay? Not in an inappropriate way कि towel लेके वो आदमी को मारो, ऐसे नहीं.
हाँ, ये
But
तो
actually,
बेहतर
we
है.
don't, in psychology, we don't even really approve of this beating with a towel, because that's a certain violence which is coming out. It may make you more angry. So rather than that, you find other ways to calm yourselves down. I would say you do some breathing exercise. अच्छी तरह से breathe करो. किसी और कोई friend से बात करो कि देखो इसने मेरे साथ ऐसे बात किया है, मुझको ऐसे ऐसे बोल दिया. Some friend. It is very good to vent with some friend. Okay?
or
But
you can
forces
write
your
down.
write it
Or
down.
uh,
Write it down. It is
I'm not
Go for a walk.
huh?
Go for a walk.
Go for a walk. Some people are very angry, no? Walk जाएंगे तो जो भी सामने आए उसको मारेगा.
उसको जो मर्जी बोलो.
That is right.
So this is the thing. So now we come back to our topic. The topic is that we have to do Pratipaksha Bhavana again and again. Okay. Okay.
we have to do this deliberately because the mind keeps on following its impulses. We have to see that a person who is angry at us also has pain within himself, because a person gets angry only when something is bothering him. Anger is merely a manifestation of what is bothering the fellow inside. He does not know how to deal with it, so he is vomiting it out before you. Seeing the person behind the behavior helps us to discover compassion or accommodation for that person. And slowly our mind gets transformed. The mind slowly becomes Shama, quiet and tranquil. Tranquility of the mind is a value because a tranquil mind is an inward looking mind.
Yeah. If your mind is not tranquil, you will be going on thinking about the other fellow. उसने क्या बोला, क्यों बोला, वो देखो वो कैसा आदमी है, etc. etc. You will go on. Now it is Sonia uncle's turn.
Yes, Guru. Dama, restraining external sense organs activity. The next line defines Dhamma as nigrah, a restraint of Bahya vrittis. Bahya means external, and here the word vritti means pravritti, activity. So Dhamma is restraining the external activities of the sense organ. Your eyes want to see some object, your ears want to hear something, your skin wants to touch something, speech wants to say something, hand wants to do something, legs want to walk, and so on. These activities are often impulsive and mainly due to the impulse of desire, anger, greed, etc. If the mind or hands wants to help or caress somebody, there is no problem. If speech wants to comfort someone, that there is not a problem. What we are talking about here is the occasional violence involved in our behavior. Whatever behavior is impulsive, it is likely to be violent. In such cases, it should be curbed or restrained.
Yeah, there's this case, there was this Mahabharat में एक जयद्रथा था, और he got infatuated with Draupadi. When they had gone in that for 14 years or whatever they had gone off. So that time he got infatuated with Draupadi. So Draupadi was told him that, see, I am the wife of Pandavas and you will really pay for it, go away, keep away. Pandavas उस टाइम पे कहीं गया था. This chap, he could not restrain himself. उसके मन में इतना infatuation था. He knew the Pandavas are so powerful, इसको ऐसे lesson सिखाया जाएगा कि वो रोने लगेगा. फिर भी he abducted this Draupadi, all because he didn't have dama. He could not restrain himself. Iti.
The activity of the sense organs is restrained so that the mind ultimately stops being impulsive.
Yeah.
Sometimes the mind is impulsive and wants something anyway, regardless of whether it is good or bad, because it has a craving for that thing. The impulse could be so strong that he cannot be neutralized simply by reasoning. Reasoning is applicable at the level of Shama, when the mind is relatively tranquil. But when reasoning does not work, one needs regret, restraint. This is dama. Even though the mind wants to talk, I clench my teeth and do not allow it to speak. Inside, my impulses are trying to control me, but I resist some impulses. There is an impulse to punch, but I hold the hand back. I want to kick, but I hold the leg back. I want to know what is going on over there, but I do not look, and so on. There are built-in impulses in the sense organs that seem to govern or control their activities without our permission. At that time, we have to be alert with reference to the activity of every organ and use restraint when we are convinced that the behavior is going to be harmful.
Or adharmic. Yeah. One habit that many of us may be having, and that habit is that we like to go to our phones and we'll go to YouTube and we will just keep उसको सर्फ करते रहेंगे. YouTube तो कुछ ना कुछ दिखा देगी. So I was just asking, supposing you don't want, there will be a craving from inside कि जाओ मैं देखूं, मेरे फोन को देखो, व्हाट्सएप को देखो, यार इसको देखो, यार उसको देखो. एक तरह के अंदर से क्रेविंग होती है क्योंकि हम लोग बोर्ड होते हैं या जो भी रीजन है. So supposing this is the case and you don't want to do it, then what kind of dhamma can you use?
Dhamma, but we can think of some elevated thought, a better
Exactly.
way, a better ladder to happiness. You see,
Okay,
not only.
First easy trick is tap. If you have a craving which is not leaving you, cravings don't last for more than 3 minutes or something, I forget. So anyway, you do some tapping, do some breathing, and then do some elevate. You can do your japa, or you can read something nice, or listen to a satsang. If you must listen to YouTube, then listen to some satsang, or you can go and read your Bhagavad or Ramayana or something like that, or you can sing bhajan. Yeah. So then we have to give ourselves alternative ways with which we can handle our craving, whatever the craving might be. Okay. Now it is turn of Saroja. आपका हाँ आंटी आपको सुना ही नहीं दे रहा है. मे बी बिकॉज यू आर म्यूटेड.
Yes, sorry. Discipline is from suppression. We are not suggesting that you have to control or restrain everything. However, you have to restrain the mind only when you find that it is about to do something harmful. This is discipline, not suppression. Suppression is when you do it helplessly, like when you want to give a thing, but you are helpless because you cannot get it. For example, several people are sitting at the dining table. The host is sitting beside me, and sweets are being served. The hostess serves me but does not serve a sweet to her husband. I ask, why do you have to give it to your husband? No, Swamiji, he does not get it. Then I put a sweet on his plate, but she takes it away. No, Swamiji, he has diabetes, he cannot eat it. the fellow is depressed. We are not talking about suppression. We are talking about discipline. I have a value for not indulging, and therefore I will not indulge. If a person wants to do indulge and is prevented from doing so, that is suppression. He will perhaps indulge in sweets,
In his dreams.
dream. If he cannot get it in the wakening state, he can at least do something in the dream. So, nidra is required. This does not mean that we should only keep on restraining the mind. The mind should also have some freedom. Freedom is called anugraha, and restraint is called nigraha. We need a judicious application on the two. For example, when a charioteer is driving a chariot, sometimes he let us see horse run loses, and sometimes when they lose discipline, he restrain them. In the same way, the mind is allowed to do what it wants whenever there must be the will.
One line missing.
Whenever we find that it is about to do something that is harmful.
That is harmful. However, there must be the will to restrain the mind. We therefore require discipline in the activity.
Now, Auntie, I will read, okay, because it's in this Yuktahara Viharasya Yukta Cheshtasya Karmasu Yukta Swapnava Bodhasya Yogo Bhavati Dukkhaha. So, Auntie, now you can read the meaning.
Okay. One should always be moderate and observe a sense of proportion in terms of ahar, diet, vihar, recreation in sleep, or staying awake every activity. Then yoga becomes a remover of sorrow.
Continue, Auntie.
Basically, dama is control over the impulsiveness and mechanicalness of the mind, and Shama is using right understanding to restrain the mind when it wants something due to a wrong understanding.
Very nice, no? He says dama.
Yes.
You use it to control your impulsiveness. You know, when you're acting mechanically, then you use dama because you're going to do an action. So you stop yourself. Okay? And Shama is using right understanding. You see, you have right understanding already, but you don't have dama. Supposing you already know this gulab jamun is very bad for me, it has got sweet, it is this, it is that, everything you know. But it is a habit. Enjoying, see gulab jamun, eat it immediately. That is a habit. So when that habit is there, then let there be dama. It is impulsive, it is mechanical, you're just going to go for it. Then use dama. Very nice. See?
Even though there is a right understanding, the mind sometimes just does the things impulsively or mechanically. Whenever the mind becomes impulsive and mechanical, restraint is required. And when there is wrong understanding, that understanding is required. Sham is constantly agitated mind with vivek and vairagya, which are right understanding. As a result of these disciplines, there is organs are
There is
prevented.
dama. As a result of these disciplines of Viveka and Vairagya, that is Shama and Dama, there is Dama, which is Nishiddha Pravritti Tiraskara. Nishiddha Pravritti Tiraskara. Meaning the sense organs are prevented from doing some pravritti or activity that is Nishiddha, prohibited or hurtful. Because of Viveka and Vairagya, which you're going to do all the time, right understanding,
This covers.
because of Vivek and Vairagya constantly, you are able to exercise Dhamma, Swamiji says. Okay? And what is Dhamma? Nishiddha Pravritti Tiraskara. Okay? Rejecting Nishiddha Pravritti. prohibited action, not doing what you should not be doing. Iti. This covers Shama and Dama, and the next verse deals with Uparati and Titiksha. And with that, we can stop, okay? Because we are 49 minutes. My watch over there showing 17:59. I don't know what that, because that's a little bit ahead perhaps. It's
No, it is
17:48.
right.
We have 10 minutes more. We can do 10 minutes more. Okay? Is it okay? 10 minutes more, you would like to stop? As you like. Wait, it is me, uncle. If your attention is wandering, then stop. There's no point in doing when our attention wanders. Okay?
Now we will continue with us. It will be a question, answer, or discussing.
That also can be there. I am okay with anything. In the next one, we are going to do this topic of Uparati, which is a very interesting topic. And Swamiji makes a little bit of a diversion here, and he goes into sannyasa. Unnecessarily, it is not, not quite necessary here, but maybe somebody was sitting in front of him who did that discussion, and so
we'll go for sannyasa next class.
We'll keep it next.
We will next time, because a new topic will start it.
Uparati and Titiksha.
Guruma. Hello.
I'm very much here.
I want to know the difference between the discipline and the suppression.
So
two words are used: discipline and suppression.
Discipline is there, you have a value. You yourself have a value for not doing something. Okay, for example, you have a value for not eating sweet. Then when you don't eat sweet, you are just exercising your value. Whereas supposing you don't have a value and somebody is telling you that you should not eat sweet, takes away your sweet from your hand, then that is suppression, because it is not your personal value. That means you are being forced to suppress this thing, and it's not your personal value. Whereas if you have a value and you're doing it, then it's not suppression, because you have now got a value for something higher. So you're not really suppressing your desire. You're just exercising a choice for something else which you find more important. Whereas in suppression, you are not being, you don't actually have the value. This can also be not where somebody else is suppressing you, but sometimes your heart and your head are two different things. Okay, very often this happens in the case of gulab jamun. Your head is saying that don't take the gulab jamun, it is full of sweet, it is anitya sukham, it is mithya. All this your head is telling, but your heart is saying it is very nice thing, always you got happiness from it, why don't you go for it? थोड़ा थोड़ा लेने से क्या होता है? कुछ नहीं होता है, थोड़ा स्वीट ले लो, कभी कभी करना चाहिए, नहीं तो सप्रेशन हो जाएगा है. So now your heart has got a different value and your head has got a different value. Okay, in which case it could be that you are suppressing.
What should follow?
You will have to educate your heart also, or your heart will have to go through a lot of pain and see that actually it is painful, and then say okay.
No, but saying goes that between the heart and the head, you should follow the heart.
No. That's what happens actually.
No, what I read in the scriptures, they write like that, and some of the people they are writing.
No, don't go. You see, heart. When they talk about heart, they are talking about a different heart. We are talking about the raga dvesha heart, where you have got a terrific raga for what you want to be doing.
So there are two types of hearts then.
Huh?
There are two types of hearts.
Yeah.
I didn't know this.
So you are having, there are these two sides, you know, when sometimes certain values which are not fully assimilated, then
No, but
there are these two sides.
that is a heart or that is a mind you are talking about?
I call it as heart. It's because it's an emotional value. You have an emotional value, not a cognitive value. It is at your emotional level, you know. It's a raga, pakka raga. So the heart which those people are saying, follow the heart, is the actual heart of goodness, you know. That heart will never advise you to.
तो गुरु माँ जी जो आपने भी बताया कि this suppression is not always, I mean, you are interfered by somebody else. You can have
Not always, sometimes you yourself.
Then
Maybe
what is restraint then?
So you learn then to use dama. Supposing this happens that you have an emotional value for your gulab jamun, your cognitive value is saying no, then you follow your buddhi because it's going to harm you. You find out that it is going to harm you. Either it's going to harm you or it's going to harm somebody else. Then you follow your buddhi. You must follow your buddhi. Okay?
No, but if the heart says take it today and don't take for another 2 months, it is okay then.
That's what my heart does.
No, I'm following that because when I had a heart problem, I was not taking, but now I am taking this makhan and all that. You see, once in a while.
Once in a while, it's okay.
That is what the heart is telling me. अभी खा लो इसको.
कभी-कभी खा लो. कभी-कभी ठीक है. ज़्यादा करने से भी, as I said, you know, there will be steam coming out of your ears. Eh? So once in a while, you must let go. Too much of tapas also will make you very. Only thing is, remember one thing. It's very tricky. Raga Dvesha has its way of getting its way. Okay? तो एक बार आपने उसको चांस दे दिया, फिर दोबारा त्रिबारा 4 times 5 times वो करता रहेगा. So you have to be very smart. You have to be very wise.
We should follow Swami ji, the pratipaksh bhavna. We should get the opposite of that. So probably it will solve the problem.
It may or may not, depending on how deep is the
Ragdvesh.
The raga. Yeah. Reasoning sometimes may not work. And if reasoning does not work, let dama work. If that is what Swamiji has said here. If reasoning is not going to work, make sure that you have the willpower to use your dama. Let dama work then. Tough. But with practice, everything becomes easier. Like now, I am very fond of sugar, you know, but I don't take. Now I don't take sugar in my tea. I don't take sugar in anything. Once in a while, I may take something sweet. But as a general rule, you know, I kept that as a general rule. Daily life case में ये नहीं करना है, ये sugar नहीं लेना है. Daily life. कभी कभी किसी के घर गए और इसने एक स्वीट दे दिया तो खा लो. पूजा हुई उस दिन स्वीट खाए. ठीक है, once in a while it's okay, but not like the way I used to be before. You know, having that sweet tooth, and if that sweet tooth comes, then take the sweet. Okay? So I think dhamma is also a practice. We practice it and get better at it. Okay? Slowly, maybe the wiring in the brain also will become more used to dhamma. Okay? So again, as always, it is a practice. Shama is also a practice. Dhamma is also practice. What did Swamiji say? Vairagya, Shama, Dhamma are the walking the talk, right?
Walk the talk.
So Shama Dhamma is walking the talk, and which is a practice. It's a sadhana.
No, but if Sama is dominating, I mean, if you have got the tranquility of mind, probably your Dhamma will be controlled.
Then Dhamma will be okay. Your Dhamma may be, we don't know really, we can't quite say, you know. If Shama is there with reference to one topic, doesn't mean Shama is there for everything. You may have Shama generally, but there may be one or two very strong ragas which are there, towards which you don't have Shama. In which case, then you try and improve your Dhamma. And you can start with browsing. the internet. So I have started saying Om, Om. When I have this thing that I will browse the internet, so instead of browsing the internet, I say Om. I have started reading the Bhagavad. I'm reading the Bhagavad nowadays. So things like that one can do, improve your dama. If there's a craving, recognize first of all there is a craving. Sometimes you won't recognize even. So recognizing itself is half the battle won. And once you recognize, then already the viveka is already there. But what do you say? The craving is too strong. Then use dama. So this is a very useful part.
You go for pathology test and find out whether diabetes there or not. I think.
Now I don't think it will be there. I never had diabetes anyway. But the sweet tooth may lead you to diabetes, no, uncle?
Yes.
Too much of sweet.
Too much of sugar
Yeah.
will lead to diabetes.
Other thing also is lifestyle wise, don't do too much of snacking. No, uncle? Because insulin, as soon as you eat something, insulin is generated and that will give you insulin resistance and whatnot. So eat at the time of eating and not more than that.
There are many causes.
नहीं डॉक्टर साहब अगर डॉक्टर भाटिया अगर मान लिया आपके your sugar is within the limits then you can take a sugar, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, that you guys should take this.
But you don't take it in immoderate quantity. Moderate is always okay, na? Middle path is okay.
That's right.
So supposing after lunch, you can take, 1 sweet, but you can't make that 10 sweets.
With 10 sweets, you will have diabetes.
So uncle is having Suni uncle is getting a cough. Uncle, you have some water with you?
No, I'm okay.
I think that should be enough. We are at 6 o'clock now. Yeah?
Yes.
लोग अपना चाय वाय पियेंगे.
6 o'clock.
Okay, नमो नारायण.
Namo Narayana.
Om Namo.
Om Namo.
Om.